Spencer is here for SunsetSpeedway.ca. I'm hanging out in the pit area with this gorgeously prepared B10 OSCAAR Super Late Model. My man, the crowd pleaser, Kelly Balson. We're talking all about the Spring Velocity, inaugural race in the OSCAAR campaign. I know that you've just been chomping at the bit to get back to the racetrack, to get back behind the wheel of this thing. Sophomore campaign, in a lot of ways, starts today here on practice day. What have you learned about the car so far through just the first session?
Well, like you say, it was the first session. What I've learned is I think that GTA and Graham's time too have done a great job over the winter. From a starting point, to start at that point is a good news story. We were pretty good. I mean, there's work to do, but it's not far off right off the bat, so it's pretty good, pretty pleasing.
Now I know through the 2014 season you jumped around between different setup gurus, sort of tried everybody and found out who had the best package. You ended up going with Graham Annis this year. So he's essentially going to be your in-house guy. I mean, is it a big relief to just have one pair of hands that's going to be touching this car with Annis and Graham Flett, and not have to worry about going back and forth to maybe some of the other manufacturers in the area?
I don't want to say it's comfortable, but I've got total faith in them. So I guess if you want to equate that to comfort, then sure, that's fine. But I would say it's probably more confidence. I've got confidence in these two, and I know we're going to be able to bring this thing closer to the front, so that's good.
As many times as OSCAAR was at Sunset last year, I want to say 5 times, I believe.
5, that's right.
So you had as many good nights here as you did bad nights, and it just felt like it was a roller coaster. You had a parts failure. You had one night where we just sort of missed the setup, and then you had a couple of good runs. The Don Biederman Memorial was a good weekend for you. So
yeah, it was a good weekend.
If it's an even split right now, I mean, what's your feelings towards Sunset Speedway? Is it a place that you're excited to come to, or are you starting to feel like it's a little thorn in your side?
No, it's starting to become home. Obviously, Peterborough Speedway's always been home, but Sunset's becoming, my home on the west side. And to go back to what I was talking about with Graham and Graham, that was the only time I had the pair of them with me last year was at the Biederman, and we had a 5th place run that night, and that was a good field. Everybody was here, and we were in a 5-car conga line lapping the field that night, and that was the night that both Grahams were here. So again, having both Grahams with us, all hands on board for the whole year. Yeah, I'm looking forward to coming back to Sunset. I'm loving this place. I'm looking forward to going everywhere with these guys. So I think we're going to be all right.
In a super late model, what's the secret to a good run at Sunset Speedway?
I have no idea. It's going to sound stupid, and I know people are going to roll their eyes at it. You got to make it rotate through the middle. Maybe, especially down low, you can get some momentum up high. But we watched that late model race last night, and you watched the guys digging hard down low, trying to complete that pass. And it's not rocket science, but you got to make it turn, then you got to make it get up off, and where you got to get that done, you got to get it done down low so you can pass guys.
How important, when you're looking at having a strong point year, because I know 2014 was the learning year for this team. Now, I guess we're sort of transitioning into wanting to become a contender every night. How important is it to get a strong start to the 2015 season, knowing that OSCAAR has a relatively short schedule?
I don't concern myself with it, to be perfectly honest with you. If it's a good night to start off with, that's great. If it's a mediocre night, whatever, we'll improve upon it. But I don't lay a lot of pressure on myself that way. It's let's just get it on the track and let's do the best we can. And if it happens to roll our way, that's great. But I'm not going to beat myself up over what could be, a flat tire situation. Or you get up to a bad, look at poor Taylor last night. He had a bad run. Well, I mean a bad run. He had a great car and had some bad luck with the carburetor and then his clutch. But he shouldn't be beating himself up. And I conversely won't beat myself up if we have a bad night right off the bat. So, but it's not we're going in looking for a bad night. You want to come in, do the very best you can, and but I don't lay a lot of pressure on myself that way. You just move on.
I mean, social media was full of this car up on the hoist at your shop, at Graham Annis's shop. These chairs with Ryan Kimmel. So obviously a lot of work went into this car over the off season. How radically different is it from when it rolled off the track at the Autumn Colors Classic in 2014?
Not much left. Completely different spring and shock package. Sway bars are different. The body's completely different. Same what? Same lead, yeah, the lead swing. We didn't change the lead, didn't paint the chassis, but GTA and Graham, they changed pretty much everything, and it's, GTA is making the calls on this, and I'm comfortable with that. I mean, you saw how Jason did last night, right? And you see how all of his
yeah, Jason Hathaway was
he was strong last night, right? And so I had complete confidence turning this over to GTA at the start, and I've got even more now.
Now, let's take you out of the mix for a moment. Let's get you back to being a fan.
Yeah.
OSCAAR Super Late Model Tour, the complexion of the roster has changed quite a bit from where we were last year, with Kevin Cornelius doesn't know if he's running full-time, Andrew Gressel stepped back from full-time commitments. How does that impact this chase for the championship? I mean, who are the guys that we're going to be keeping an eye on this year?
I really don't know, but you got to think that, Glenn just rolled by. You got to figure he's going to be contender. He has been since the dawn of time. And J.R. Fitzpatrick's in the deal, and you know, Sean Centerworth, London Rec teammate, he's clearly going to be in the mix. So I've said this for a million years, there's just more fast cars, it doesn't matter. Like I roll into the pits, if there's 50 fast cars, well, so be it. If there's 10, 15 fast cars, well, so be it. We just got to concentrate on what we're doing, because if you're not fast, who cares how many fast cars there are, right? So it's all about what we're doing right now. And the championship stuff, we'll just let that fall where it may.
Well, let me just pan out for a second and take a look at this ride. I mean, this is a gorgeous looking race car. Is this the nicest looking car you've ever had?
Yeah, yeah, it is. But, you know, and Kale at Pro Wraps and Mike took the lead stride on our wraps this year. And I got to tell you, it's the body on this thing is unreal. But I got to tell you, the wrap on Amanda's car, we had it in the main building this past week, and you can't stop looking at it.
It's pretty hot. It's pretty hot.
I guess it's the colors. I don't know. She made a good call on the pink. You know, Mike and Amanda went back and forth with the pink, and while Larry Jackson and I conceded that neither one of us could pull off a pink car, I guess she can. So, you know, our car looks pretty hot too.
I mean, it doesn't happen without everybody behind you, and you've got one of the best support systems in the business right now with all the folks that are on your team.
Yeah, and they're all friends too, right?
Thank the folks that make it happen.
Well, I got to thank Roddy Cochran for putting a push on this big steam he's got underneath this thing. He put a push on to get it in here for us, so I got to thank Cochran and Cochran Automotive. Mike and Schmidt at London Rec has helped us so much this winter. I feel guilty, like I feel like I should be doing more for the guy. I don't know what else I need. Like I should be flying.
You can go clean his eaves.
I got to do something. I got to do something because he's done so much for us. Kale at Pro Wraps. You know, again, Mike has facilitated the relationship with us at Castrol Canada, and Ben at Chevrolet, Sean Turner. Thanks a lot, man. And GTA Racing Design and My Graham. You know, we're all friends, and we're all in this together. Oh, and Spencer Lewis Promotions.
Sure, why not?
The guy holding the camera.
Yeah, why not? I'm gonna walk over. Look, this is the brand new GTA design logo. Let them know on Facebook that you wanted to go over to the blue, because the blue is better than the red. I got the red.
Oh, you want the GTA?
That's the red hat right there.
Logo compared to the blue logo.
It would look better as the blue.
Look, there he is right there.
So there you go. So the way we're gonna end this video, come out to the Spring Velocity, 2 weeks, Sunset Speedway, OSCAAR Super Late Model, first event of the 2015 season. Is it gonna be a monster show or what?
Yeah, it's gonna be a huge show.
The people need to come.
Yeah, people need to be here.
Obviously. Follow us on Twitter at LRR Racing. Is it at London Rec Racing?
At London Rec.
At London Rec Racing, and come to Sunset Speedway in 2 weeks for the Spring Velocity. Kelly, thanks for the time. Get back in there and go turn some laps.
Here.
The crowd pleaser, Kelly.